Clemson, they're going to have not one, no. They're going to have 2 all-conference wide receivers when that all-ACC team comes out at the end of the 2025 season. This is the secret sauce that has college football fans buzzing right now and having everybody that actually knows something about ball taking a peek over at Clemson's roster and saying, yeah, the return in production's nice. Yeah, Dabo Swinney, couple rings on his finger, good vibe. Yeah, Cade Klubnik, we'll talk about him in a second. But this Clemson team, with what they have at receiver, starts to feel a little bit like vintage Clemson, doesn't it? And the first question that Clemson fans are asking relative to my prediction, I think tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about their receiver position right now. Because the question was, well, JD, 2 all-conference receivers, who got left off? Antonio Williams? TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, Tristan Smith, the transfer, Tyler Brown, he's still there. A lot of names for Clemson in that receiver room. When was the last time we had that many names to unpack as to guys that could maybe find themselves on an all-conference team? It's been a minute. It's been several minutes, actually. The last time that Clemson had more than one all-conference wide receiver, take a guess, the year 2020. Now, in that 2020 season, as weird as it was, Clemson found themselves in the college football playoff semifinals, playing Ohio State. So it's not hard to see how this whole thing could shake out. If you have dudes on the outside, you're going to be in a good position to compete for some postseason hardware. And Clemson has that, again, based on all those names I just mentioned. So speaking to the vintage Clemson teams and speaking to what Clemson wants to accomplish here, let's go ahead and say that this ends up happening, right? Well, the good news for Clemson is you got a quarterback back there in Cade Klubnik, who we alluded to before. He can actually pull the trigger for you. Because the most frustrating thing would be for this to not match up and have a receiver room but no quarterback to maximize the receiver room and, okay, we're kind of doing palms up at the end of the year like woulda, shoulda, coulda. That's not the case. You have a guy now going into his 3rd year in the system, a guy who I think this team feels confident in. More importantly, Cade Klubnik, I have to think, feels more confident in himself in the system. It's all starting to align here. So if they have 2 all-ACC selections at receiver, that means Cade Klubnik probably was who you thought he was. Probably means that Clemson, if they didn't win the ACC, they probably made a deep playoff run with the nature of the talent they have, or at least have the potential to make a deep playoff run. I think the ripple effect from a several years down the road point of view for Clemson is what gets me excited if I'm a Clemson fan. Because if you have 2 all-conference receivers, you can then start to market yourself once again as a wide receiver conversation piece. Now, I'm not saying Clemson is wide receiver I think there's still a lot of discussion to be had around Ohio State and LSU and all that. But remember those old Clemson teams that used to come out in warmups with wide receiver across the front of their chest? And you had people that would object to it, but it was a real conversation because of guys they had in the league. DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, you go down the line. That was a real thing you could say because you had proof in the pudding. Now, if Clemson is able to market themselves that way and attract other top talent to come to Clemson, South Carolina and play receiver, and the offense stays explosive and the vibes stay good, that is a non-negotiable in new college football. I say new college football as regarding to the 12-team format and probably the 14, 16, however many teams we put in this dance going forward, because you got to have some giddy up and go to win at a high level in college football in the postseason. It has to happen. You cannot win rock fight after rock fight, which Clemson has no intention of doing, but for the rest of college football, it's not a formula you can win with anymore. It's not. And so to have the freedom to be big play-ish, to have guys that can actually go win their matchups, I love the way they're built, man. I love the way they're built, and I think this happening, 1, I'm predicting it's going to happen. 2, this happening and what it would mean for Clemson football for years to come, be huge. Be very, very huge for all the reasons I just mentioned. So go ahead and take that one to the bank. Clemson, they will have not 1 but 2 all ACC wide receivers, and I'm excited to come back on that here in a few months and take a victory lap there.